Soon may the wellerman come, bring us coffee, tea, and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, take our leave and go. At a fair in the sun of town, her hair was blonde and her dress was brown. Soon may the wellerman come around.
With temperatures in the mid-30s Fahrenheit, I'm a little bit bundled up for today's adventure. For viewers up north, that may sound like a summer afternoon, but in Kentucky, 30s is pretty cold. For a day's outing in this 12-foot skiff, all I take along is my wax canvas tote and Cumberland Rover raid cushion, both of which are available on cumberlandrover.com. I find that a good tote like this is the best way to carry essentials on a small boat. In mine, I keep a towel, stainless steel canteen, dry socks, rain gear, and various little tools and knickknacks that I need to help me run the boat. I have a very compact float plan for today at Nickell Branch. The main attraction here is two small islands, which are essentially just wooded hilltops separated from land between the lakes by the rising tide of the Cumberland floodwaters after the creation of the reservoir. I just saw some sort of a Coast Guard working boat and a big barge cross paths as I landed here on Nickell Island, and I've never been here this late in the season. It's late November, just after Thanksgiving, about to be December. It was 36 degrees when I launched the boat, and I think the high today is only 38. But I'm bundled up a little bit, but I'm really not cold. I'm kind of a warm-natured person, so I like to get out when it's a little cooler. People from up north in the States or colder climates in other parts of the world probably think 36 degrees, not even below freezing, basically summer weather. Much like the sad islands, there's actually two islands here right next to one another. With the water so low, this gravel bar behind me has sort of become a breakwater, forming a protected little cove right here. And then there's just a very narrow strip of water between the two islands. And I'm pretty sure that's actually a channel. It seems to be fairly deep right there. I'm about to go and explore a little further away from the boat, and so I was going to take the sail down, stepped in the mud, and my foot sunk in and got wet. But luckily I'm wearing smart wool socks, so my feet are impervious to the elements. Stopped here during summer and explored a little bit, and I came back covered in chigger bites. Shouldn't be a problem today. These islands that are very near LBL kind of seem like a wooded hilltop was just cut and pasted in the middle of the lake, and that's sort of what it is. When the dam was created, this wooded hilltop became slightly isolated by water from the rising tide of the floodwaters of the Cumberland. The islands that are further out are just different in a lot of ways. They won't have these large established hardwoods like you get in LBL. It'll tend to be mostly willow, sometimes sycamore, but usually just a few species of trees, and you don't have this thick carpet of leaves that you do in the deciduous forests around here. I'm seeing some evidence of a house place right here. This area was inhabited before the creation of the dams and the public land out here, and so you find a lot of old homesteads. And right here there's a big pile of old brick and some big limestone rocks, and I've seen in structures that were still standing, it was very common here to use limestone rocks as footers for a foundation. Typically, if you find those limestone footers, they'll still be in a fairly orderly pattern. Now, a lot of places out here were demolished, so that's not always the case, but usually you can see the four corners, or there could even be 6 or 8 footers. I'm walking through a little stand of cedars here, and cedar tends to do really well on the rocky, windswept points around LBL and around the lakes. It seems like it can just root anywhere, and the wind doesn't take it down. It tends not to grow excessively tall, but cedar is a really tough tree, any kind of cedar. There's a neat little isolated limestone formation out here, and from here you can see Barkley Dam as well as the beginning of the canal that connects Barkley Lake to Kentucky Lake. That's a really calming sound that these rocks make as the water laps against them. They have a lot of rounded channels and holes in them just from being eroded, and I think that's what makes that sound. right, here we are, the second island, and it was a long and arduous journey getting here. I'm only about not even 100 feet away from the first island. They're right on top of each other. Well, this is a little sad. Someone had a bushcraft camp that was here for years. I remember finding it a long time ago. It had sort of a tent top and even had a big stone fireplace. And most of it was constructed with just natural timbers and looks like maybe some dimensional lumber that had washed up. And it was really pretty cool, but it doesn't look like it's fallen down. It looks more like it's been destroyed to me, so that's a little sad. This island's a lot smaller than the first. There's really not much to it. I've basically gone up and over, and now I'm coming down to the side nearest LBL. You know, the colder months are really a better time to get out and explore the woods. You don't have to deal with the insects, and you don't sweat, and you can see a lot further. Plus, the air is just sort of crisp and clean. This channel will continue to charge along under full sail, but at cumberlandrover.com, I offer videos not available on this channel or anywhere else. The videos and articles are free. I don't run ads, but I do have a store offering some unique handmade products of my own design that I think will be of interest to sailors and outdoor enthusiasts.